Now, Sadio Mané admits he didn't have to think twice when presented with the opportunity to leave Liverpool for Bayern Munich. After completing his £35 million move, he revealed that Jurgen Klopp wanted him to stay at Anfield, but couldn't persuade him because he wanted a new challenge after 6 years at the club.
He didn't even think twice. I just accepted. And for me, like I said, I had the offers. My agent, but I choose Bayern because I think it's the right club, and I was really, and I'm still really happy to be part of this big club. I think I spent, of course, 6 wonderful years in Liverpool, and with very nice people and great fans, and of course, like I said, of course, I was not happy. But it's a part of life. In myself, I need and spend in Premier League in general last 8 years, and I need a new challenge. And like I said, now Bayern was for me the right club. Yeah, Klopp is Klopp. You know him, very good guy, and of course he would love me to stay. But of course, I think, like I said, very great guy. He understands my situation, like the club, and they accept. And yeah, I wish, of course, all the best.
Following confirmation of the deal, Jurgen Klopp has also paid tribute to Mané, describing him as a legend, but also a modern-day Liverpool icon. Well, Klopp said, "It's a big moment. There's no point in anyone trying to pretend otherwise. One of Liverpool's greatest ever players is leaving, and we must acknowledge how significant this is. He leaves with our gratitude and our love. The goals he scored, the trophies he won, a legend for sure, but also a modern-day Liverpool icon. I respect completely his decision, and I'm sure our supporters do also. If you love LFC, you have to love Sadio, non-negotiable. It is possible to do this while accepting our loss is Bayern's gain. We wish him nothing but success in every match he plays in, unless, of course, it's against us. His star will continue to rise, I have no doubts." Well, our senior reporter, Melissa Reddy, has joined me on set. Melissa, nice to see you this evening. All right, what's his legacy then at Liverpool?
I think he will be. That was his favourite position. He switched to the left and was remarkable there, and then ended up exiting Liverpool as their false nine, their focal point, and he was great there as well.
So, Jurgen Klopp's called him a legend, a modern-day icon. So what does this transfer say about Liverpool?
I think the fact that he leaves in the height of his career still, you know, he's a Ballon d'Or candidate. He's done exceptionally well on the international stage as well. He's going to a powerhouse in Bayern Munich. And yet, for all he contributed to Liverpool and the affection that obviously the coaching staff, the players, the supporters have for him, this doesn't feel like the end of days. It doesn't feel detrimental. And that's a credit to Liverpool's quiet evolution of their forward line. They don't want the players to age altogether, so they've brought in Jota gradually, then Diaz, and now Darwin Núñez. And, you know, the front three have been really helpful in the fact that they've set the standards. They've allowed these players to come in and settle immediately because of what they've managed to do. These players are not under pressure because of the front three still being there. And I just think Liverpool's recruitment staff have earned so much credit because of the way they've handled the incomings. And so such a significant outgoing, Jurgen Klopp's own words, doesn't really feel that way.
There's another argument, though, isn't there? Liverpool played in 3 cup finals last season, didn't score a goal. They've got this much vaunted front 3 or front 5, whatever you want to call them. They scored fewer goals than the champions who played without a recognised striker. So did Liverpool actually have to make these changes and freshen things up?
I don't think the changes are necessitated by the 3 finals and not scoring a goal. They contributed, I think, 58 shots in those 3 finals. And all the analytics will tell you it was probably more likely to score 15 goals from those specific 58 shots than it was to score 0. So Liverpool, and we credit their recruitment staff, they're not making massive decisions based on 3 games. The evolution is natural because you have to stay a step ahead. You have to keep transitioning. You cannot have an old forward line, especially with the demands Klopp places on them in a physical aspect. And as great as that front 3 have been, you cannot be sentimental about it. The game's changing, you have to evolve, and Liverpool have gradually done that. And ultimately, you'll see the fading away of Roberto Firmino. We know Mohamed Salah has a year left of his contract. He said he's staying this summer, but perhaps next season he wants to leave on a free. And so Liverpool have to consider this. They've got remarkable service from those 3, and they have allowed, as I said, the new attackers to come in and have this incredible structure and template to work off. But ultimately, Liverpool need to keep it moving, and I think these decisions, allowing him to leave with gratitude and best wishes, and rejigging that attack, is just imperative to them staying in competition with, like you say, City, who did so well without a recognised striker and now went and got the player we all expect to be the future Ballon d'Or dominant force in that.
Sure. Let's broaden this a little bit. Say Mo Salah, you say, a year on his contract. Can you envisage a time when Liverpool sell him to Manchester United or to Manchester City? So what I'm saying is, do the top Premier League clubs have to sell to each other more?
I think that definitely has to happen in terms of Premier League clubs doing more deals with each other, especially rivals, for players of esteem. And one of the examples we'll use is Raheem Sterling, Chelsea being very interested in him, and Manchester City having to think to themselves, well, we need to allow perhaps that departure because the fees these players are on and the transfer figures they would command, the rest of Europe cannot compete with Premier League sides at present. So those deals, I think, are going to become commonplace. The Salah situation in particular, his camp keep leaking that his preference is to stay in the Premier League, and that's what it like. Now, on Liverpool's end, they see that very much as a negotiating tactic, because if we're being honest, where could he possibly go that meets his ambitions and stuff in the league? City. While I think clubs have to become better at selling to each other, I don't think those two, who see themselves a little bit separately from the rest, they know they are each other's real competitors, they are the benchmark setters. I don't think deals between these two happen. But in general, with Leeds and Arsenal, as we're seeing with the Rafinha interest, but specifically with that Sterling deal, I think will trigger a state of play where Premier League clubs just understand they're going to get better at negotiating with each other.
So are you saying then that Manchester City don't see Chelsea as that much of a rival at the moment, that they can sell one of their best players to them?